Yemen, a land of ancient cities and a long, complex war, faces a daily struggle for survival. Behind the headlines, millions endure a humanitarian catastrophe, one of the worst in modern history. Nearly half the population faces acute hunger, with shattered systems of water, food, and healthcare. Airstrikes have destroyed cities like Sana'a, deepening wounds and shattering normalcy. Yet amidst the hardship there is hope in communities fixing wells and children returning to school. The Yemeni spirit is a testament to human endurance and the quest for a better tomorrow. In Yemen, water is not just a necessity, it is a daily obsession, woven into the fabric of every family's existence. The struggle for water shapes routines, dictates priorities, and often determines the fate of entire communities. In a land where rainfall is scarce and rivers have long since dried up, the quest for water is a story of resilience and hardship, repeated day after day. Water is a life source demanding a heavy price. Every drop is precious, and the effort to secure it is relentless. Families rise before dawn, hoping to be first in line at the nearest well, only to find it already crowded with neighbors who share the same desperate need. Women and girls, the backbone of this daily ritual, walk miles over rocky, unforgiving terrain, balancing heavy jerry cans on their heads or backs. The journey is long and exhausting, often taking them through dangerous paths and under the harsh sun, just to reach unreliable wells that may or may not yield enough water for their families. When they finally return, the water is often dirty and unsafe, collected from contaminated sources or muddy puddles. But there is no choice. This water, though risky, is all that stands between their families and dehydration. This daily pilgrimage consumes hours, stealing precious time from school for children and from work for adults. The opportunity cost is immense. Education is sacrificed, livelihoods are threatened, and the cycle of poverty deepens with every step taken for water. The health consequences are devastating. Waterborne diseases like cholera and dysentery sweep through communities, preying on the most vulnerable, children and the elderly. Hospitals and clinics are overwhelmed, and families are left to cope with the heartbreak of preventable illness. The lack of clean water turns a simple drink into a gamble with life. Every sip carries the risk of sickness, yet thirst leaves no room for hesitation. The act of drinking, so ordinary elsewhere, becomes an act of courage here. In Al-Suq al-Jadid, women once carried heavy bundles of laundry to distant rainwater pools, scrubbing clothes in murky water under the open sky. The task was grueling, and the water was never truly clean, but it was the only option available. Then, a new water project changed their reality. Clean water began to flow from a communal tap, bringing relief and hope. For the first time, families could collect safe water close to home, reducing the burden on women and girls, and restoring precious hours to their days. The struggle for water weakens society at every level. It affects health, disrupts education, and undermines economic stability. Children miss school, adults miss work, and entire communities are held back by the endless search for water. The search for water is a relentless challenge, shaping every aspect of life in Yemen. It is a journey that begins before sunrise and often ends after sunset, repeated by millions every single day. The exhaustion is etched into the faces of women and children who rest only briefly before the next journey begins. Their determination is a daily reminder of the precarious hold on survival in this harsh environment. Yet, even in the face of such adversity, hope persists. Community-led projects and local initiatives offer a lifeline, empowering people to rebuild their lives and reclaim their futures. With every new well, every functioning tap, the dream of a better tomorrow grows stronger in Yemen. In Yemen, the dining table is a place of anxiety, not comfort. Families gather around sparse meals, often consisting of just bread or rice, and the atmosphere is heavy with worry. The simple act of eating, which should be a moment of togetherness and joy, is overshadowed by the uncertainty of where the next meal will come from. Over half the population faces uncertainty about their next meal. Long lines at food distribution centers are a common sight, with people waiting for hours in the hope of receiving enough to feed their families for just a few days. The desperation is palpable, and the struggle for survival is a daily reality. Survival often means a single meal a day, just bread or rice. For many, this meager sustenance is all they can afford. Children who should be growing and thriving are instead facing malnutrition and stunted growth. The lack of variety and nutrition in their diet has long-term consequences on their health and development. Humanitarian aid is a lifeline, but infrastructure destruction makes it fragile. Roads and bridges, essential for delivering aid, are often damaged or destroyed, making it difficult to reach those in need. The journey of aid trucks is fraught with challenges, and any delay can mean the difference between life and death for many. The economic collapse has doubled prices of basic goods, making survival harder. Families are forced to make impossible choices between buying food, medicine, or other essentials. The sight of empty shelves and the constant rise in prices add to the daily stress and uncertainty. Transportation costs have skyrocketed due to fuel shortages. This not only affects the delivery of aid, but also the ability of families to travel to markets or hospitals. The scarcity of fuel has a ripple effect, impacting every aspect of daily life and making an already dire situation even worse. Malnutrition leaves lasting scars, especially on children, stunting growth and learning. Clinics are filled with young faces showing the signs of prolonged hunger. The physical and cognitive development of these children is at risk, affecting their future potential and the future of the nation. A hungry child cannot concentrate in school, and a hungry parent struggles to work. The cycle of poverty and hunger is perpetuated as education and productivity suffer. The dreams and aspirations of an entire generation are being compromised by the lack of basic necessities. The fight against hunger is about restoring strength, dignity, and hope. When food parcels arrive, they bring more than just sustenance. They bring a sense of relief and a glimmer of hope. Communities come together to share what little they have, showing resilience and solidarity in the face of adversity. It is a fight for the foundation of a healthy society. Ensuring that children can play, learn, and grow in a nurturing environment is crucial for the future. A well-fed child is more likely to succeed in school and contribute positively to their community. Yet small victories in aid distribution offer glimpses of hope. Each successful delivery, each smiling face, is a step towards rebuilding a nation. The efforts of humanitarian workers and the resilience of the Yemeni people are testaments to the enduring human spirit. The crisis in Yemen is best understood through personal stories. Stories that bring to life the daily realities faced by millions. While statistics and headlines can paint a broad picture, it is the voices of ordinary Yemenis that truly reveal the depth of the challenges and the resilience of the human spirit. Take Alif Akabat, a first grader whose dreams of learning have been put on hold. His school, once a place of hope and laughter, now stands silent due to broken sanitation facilities. For Alif and countless other children, the simple act of going to school has become a distant memory, replaced by uncertainty and longing for a normal childhood. Then there is Mohammed Mohsen, a dedicated teacher who has not received a salary since 2015. Despite the hardships, he continues to show up for his students, driven by a sense of duty and hope for a better future. His commitment is a testament to the power of education and the sacrifices made by Yemen's educators. Mohammed's struggle is not unique. It reflects a silent crisis facing public servants across Yemen, teachers, doctors, and civil workers who persevere without pay, holding their communities together through sheer determination. These stories, woven together, reveal the interconnected nature of Yemen's struggles. The challenges of education, health, and livelihoods are not isolated. They ripple through families and communities, shaping every aspect of daily life. A child's education, a family's health, a teacher's livelihood, all are intertwined, each one affecting the other. When a school closes, it impacts not just students but entire families and the future of the community. Behind each door in Yemen, there is a story of perseverance, of families finding ways to adapt and survive despite overwhelming odds. These are stories of hope, courage, and unwavering determination. These are stories of survivors, not victims, people who every day show incredible strength and resourcefulness. They rebuild homes, care for one another, and find moments of joy even in the hardest times. Listening to these stories is the first step toward understanding the crisis. By hearing the voices of Yemenis themselves, we can begin to grasp the true impact of the conflict and the hope that endures in the face of adversity. Yemen's infrastructure, once a symbol of progress, now lies in ruins. Roads, bridges, and ports have been systematically destroyed, crippling the nation. The destruction of ports like Hodeidah has tightened blockades, cutting off supplies. A simple trip to the market can take hours due to destroyed roads. Fuel shortages have skyrocketed transportation costs, isolating families further. Hospitals struggle to function without reliable fuel for generators. The collapse of infrastructure suffocates the country, tearing at its social fabric. Broken roads are a metaphor for the broken state of the nation. Rebuilding Yemen requires restoring these vital connections. Traveling in Yemen is a journey fraught with risks. The landscape is a patchwork of front lines and checkpoints. Recent airstrikes remind us that no place is truly safe. Yemenis travel out of necessity, navigating military checkpoints. The collapse of infrastructure makes every journey a gamble. Roads are littered with unexploded ordnance and damaged bridges force detours. Medical emergencies are a nightmare with crippled ambulance services. Even Yemen's rich history is under threat, with ancient sites at risk. Traveling in Yemen reveals the fragility of life and heritage in war. In Yemen, hope is built one small success at a time. Community-led projects combat the water crisis, transforming lives. The Asma School for Girls now has clean water, rekindling education dreams. In Al-Souk Al-Jadid, a new water system ended the daily search for water. These projects empower locals to be part of the solution. Each positive step creates a ripple effect of hope. Small successes are the building blocks of a better future. They show that suffering does not have to be the final word. Compassion turned into action can fill a sea of hardship. Yemen is not defined by suffering but by its unbreakable spirit. The resilience of the Yemeni people is humbling and inspiring. Teachers, doctors, and mothers show incredible strength daily. This spirit is a choice to endure, help, and hope. Community persists despite forces trying to tear it apart. Traditions and culture are forms of resistance, keeping identity intact. Yemen's spirit is its greatest asset, the foundation for future peace. The international community can aid, but Yemenis will heal their nation. Their capacity for hope is a powerful lesson for us all. Yemen's story is difficult, but we must not turn away. The people of Yemen ask for attention and compassion, not pity. Small victories show that support makes a real difference. Donations can provide clean water, food, or medical supplies. We must call for lasting peace, as aid is not a long-term solution. The people of Yemen yearn to rebuild their lives and country. Let us be inspired by their resilience and enduring hope. By supporting Yemen, we show that they are not forgotten. Together we can help bring peace and recovery to their land.